A story you'll see only on Fox 23.
So a viewer captures a Tulsa police cruiser going more than 100 miles an hour on Highway 75 this morning.
Or 95 to 100 miles an hour.
Our numbers.
All right, the police cruiser didn't have lights or siren on, and tonight TPD is promising to investigate.
Fox 23's Adam Palooka is live at the TPD Training Academy to explain what happened. Adam?
Sure, this officer wasn't on his way to a crash or some sort of violent crime. He was coming here to the TPD Training Academy in North Tulsa. Now, when that driver saw that cruiser speed by, he got out his iPhone and started recording. And it's that recording that could land one officer in big trouble.
It was dark. It was 6 a.m. in the morning.
Tuesday morning, Mark headed northbound on Highway 75 just after the Highway 11 interchange.
I looked in my rearview mirror and I saw headlights back there, and I reached up to turn the signal to change lanes, and the next thing, roar goes by me.
That roar, a Tulsa police cruiser.
I almost wet myself because I'm getting ready to make that change, and then you got something that flies by you at that rate of speed.
That's when Mark grabbed his iPhone and started recording.
95 to 100 miles an hour.
Those taillights in the distance, the TPD vehicle.
He was doing 100 plus.
Mark has to floor it to keep up.
I'm doing 70 miles an hour in a 45, and he is gone up here.
When he finally catches up with the car, he gets a patrol car number and a tag number.
Car numbers, tag numbers.
We showed the video to TPD Captain Jonathan Brooks.
There's no explanation for that kind of driving behavior that we've seen in this video. When we have one of these incidents come along, it does shed a bad light on all of us.
Captain Brooks says something will be done. He has the video Mark shot.
We'll turn this over to the internal affairs and let them conduct our official internal and administrative investigation within the department, and actions will be taken there accordingly.
He says officers are trained to drive, and safety is always the first priority.
We want to assure people that we are doing the best that we can, and that's why accountability is key here.
If you are wondering if that cruiser might belong to a cadet training here, Captain Brooks says that's impossible. He says officers are only given vehicle privileges once they've graduated from the academy and once they've completed their field training. Reporting live in North Tulsa, Adam Palooka, Fox 23 News.
Adam, thank you very much. Captain Brooks tells us the investigation into this matter should finish in no more than 90 days. We, of course, will keep you updated on what the department decides. Crime had become a constant near 61st in Peoria, and residents in the area say they believe it has a lot to do with the lack of security. As Fox 23's Frank Wiley showed us last night at 10, one gate is easily kicked open, even just regularly open at the Fairmont Terrace complex. And tonight, Frank reached out to apartment management. He is continuing our live team coverage. Frank, what'd you find out? Is it still easy to open?
Yeah, it is, Shara, and you know what? Security is here. It's the first thing you see. But neighbors tell me this is hardly enough. Instructions in plain sight, but few heed the warnings. One car after the other enters Fairmont Terrace. Each driver is supposed to be let in by security.
Good afternoon, Fairmont Terrace.
I make attempt. Hello. After attempt. Hung up on me. To speak with someone about security here. I just called the office, but I wasn't given a name. Here, a security guard within shouting distance on the other side of the fence walked away when I started asking questions. Neighbors told me to ask about this security gate. It's supposed to remain locked.
They still ain't done jack about it.
After a series of crimes last year, security here was increased quite a bit, including the gates, scan codes, and ID for residents. But still, Julie Wheeler says she doesn't feel safe.
If I could move, I would.
Within a mile radius of where she lives, according to TPD, there have been 26 homicides in the last 2 years.
It's just ridiculous. I hate it here.
Crime and poverty. Lanny Endicott has watched the area steadily decline.
Late 70s, early 80s is when you began to see the Section 8 movement.
Hello? For years, all of them have been looking for answers.
Hello?
Now, I also spoke on the phone with the man who will soon own these apartments. When I asked him about security, he told me he hadn't thought that far ahead yet. Live in South Tulsa, Frank Wiley, Fox 23 News.
Please come open the door. Tulsa Police.
Earlier in the newscast, we went along with an undercover police vice unit to bust massage parlors for prostitution. Our exclusive sting continues now. We wanted to know just how easy it is for anybody to walk in and get offered sex for cash. And a reminder, again, this may not be appropriate for young children. Here's Fox 23's Janet Clark.
Open the door. Toss place.
Police invited us to go along on a bust, and then they suggested we do our own investigation. So we did.
Tulsa police, open the door.
What did I do wrong?
Undercover police in the Vice unit say the girls in most of the massage parlors are offering more than just massages. They say the businesses are basically covers for prostitution.
So I would probably say close to 90%.
The unit is deep in its investigation to slow down what they say is a crime spiraling out of control in Tulsa. Undercover officers go in posing as customers, and if the girls offer sex for money, they get arrested. The police suggested we check it out for ourselves, so we actually sent one of our Fox 23 co-workers into this massage parlor at 27th and Harvard to see what happens. He wore a hidden camera inside. He pays for the massage at the front desk.
For half an hour it's 30, for the hour it's 40. I'll go ahead and let you get comfortable as you like, and I'll be right there.
It's 9:46, and our co-worker's inside. He's been in there about 14 minutes. We're not sure what's going on.
Just a moment. What's the job?
Is it extra anything? What do you want me to do?
Are you the police? We have to worry about more so you guys coming in being the police. They're like down the top.
What do you mean?
They're busting places.
Really?
And I have to protect my field.
Our co-worker said the girl showed him with hand gestures what she'd do and whispered the prices.
She immediately grabbed my hands and put them on her butt, and then she pulled her shirt up and was basically just kind of asking me what I was interested in.
She was have the tip.
How much are you looking for?
I can't quote no price, and you get what you pay for it. Yeah.
What do you want this thing? I'd say a number and she'd say up or down, like she'd say higher, higher.
There's a bank on the next block. I'll wait on you to hurry up and go and come back.
Our co-worker left with the promise that he'd be right back with the cash, but instead he met up with us a few blocks away.
I would say that was definitely a prostitute. I mean, she was very forward and open. I was a little surprised by that. I was like, well, this is easy. That is sad. I don't understand it. I mean, she definitely looked like she could have a real job, and she didn't look like a drug addict or anything.
When our co-worker went into the second massage parlor, it didn't take long to figure out it was dirty too.
I had to ring the bell twice. Nobody was coming, and as she came up to the desk, she was putting her shirt on.
In the room, he waited for the masseuse to come in.
This chick had scrubs on, like she was a nurse or an actual massage therapist. And she was talking like she was an actual massage therapist.
It is 10:30. Our co-worker's been inside about 10 minutes. This place is called All About You, and it's at 43rd and Memorial.
She said that she does do extra stuff, and she said 100 for a topless massage and 200 to do everything. And they had weird stuff in there, man. They had table showers where she said basically you just lay down and she like washes you, and she said we could just have fun in there. But they kind of have a big operation in there.
Next, we went to 11th and Memorial to Bamboo Spa. Our co-worker paid at the front desk, and in the room, the masseuse actually told him up front that he'd be getting a massage, and that's it.
We just straight massage, okay?
Okay.
Don't ask me nothing because we didn't do nothing else.
And that seemed pretty legit. She made it very clear that it was just a massage.
Now we're at 31st and 129th East Avenue outside this place called China Moon.
So how's the day been? So far, so good?
Our co-worker just went in there about 5 minutes ago.
Do you mind if I get more comfortable?
When she was about to get started, she just said, I think I'm going to get more comfortable. And I said, okay. And she just took off her shirt and her pants. 5 minutes into it, I asked her if she does anything extra, and she said yes.
He says this girl wouldn't say anything out loud, but used hand gestures to get her point across.
It won't take me long.
Oh, wait, that's fine.
That was the most aggressive one. That was pretty wild.
We're at 32nd and Sheridan and outside this place called Needing Relaxation. And this is a place that the police have actually wanted to check out and haven't had a chance, so we told them we'd send our co-worker in to go check it out for them. This girl didn't waste any time.
Have you had any sexual stuff before? No.
While we've been sitting here, we've seen quite a few cars coming and going, people coming in and out. It seems to be one of the busiest massage parlors we've been to.
It sounded like at least half the rooms were full. So for $220, we could go all the way. I said a few times, so 160 for sex. She at least nodded yes. But she was stepping onto a money machine, and I was on my way back. She was holding the room for me.
The girl even explained to our coworker how the business works.
The money you pay to get in, and she said that just goes to the house. They don't see any of that. And then after that, whatever money they get in tips, they just keep that, I guess. Sounds like she'd been at it for a while. She wasn't uncomfortable about it at all.
At the end of the night, 4 out of 5 offered sex for money.
It just feels like all the massage parlors are dirty. It just feels like they're all doing it.
After the undercover work we did at Needing Relaxation, 2 officers with the Vice unit showed up to arrest the girl. But when they went in to ask for her, she was already gone. So they actually took a written statement from our coworker, and they're using it to get a warrant for her arrest. In Midtown Tulsa, Jana Clark, Fox 23 News.
Well, police showed us some websites that show photos of the girls who work at these massage parlors. Some work as escorts, too.
Officers tell us the real problem is these women actually get charged with misdemeanor prostitution, and then they go right back to a massage parlor.
Yeah, often within 24 hours. In fact, this happened just this week when a massage parlor that had been shut down in Jinx opened a different location in Owasso. The owner has been charged with a misdemeanor. Every 5 seconds, somewhere in our country, a child is abused. The Tulsa Police Department last year investigated more than 1,000 cases of child sexual and physical abuse and neglect, and more than 24 suspicious child deaths. As Fox 23's Abby Alford reports, there's evidence many cases go unreported.
The moment you suspect or if you witness a child is being physically, sexually, or verbally abused, or even if you see something that just looks inappropriate, you need to do something. If you fail to report, you could be criminally charged.
They told police that their mother, who is also the owner of the daycare, beats it, burning her 15-month-old son with a flat iron.
Nearly every night we report on it. Child molestation, sexual abuse. The suspects are relatives, pastors, coaches.
Almost every time you turn on the TV.
Mirtha Mickle is sharing her story for the first time. She's a former Tulsa Public Schools counselor. You see, 3 years ago, she witnessed former Skelly Elementary assistant principal Robert Yurton, who was suspected of inappropriately touching a boy at the school.
Caressing other boys, bear hugs other boys, massaging the backs, their chest.
First, she intervened.
I told him it was wrong, and he said he wasn't going to stop.
Then she reported to the school's principal.
She told me that she would check into it.
Mirtha refused to let her suspicions rest. Remember, if you think abuse is happening, protect the child.
I was ignored. Yes, I was ignored.
The former school counselor here at Skelly Elementary says that when action was not being taken here, she took her concerns to the next level. She went outside of district policy and reported it to her assistant superintendent.
I know I put myself on the line. I know I was putting my job on the line.
Then she went to campus police and the Department of Human Services.
Nothing came out of that.
So she went straight to the child's parents.
I wish I would have called a parent earlier, but I kept trying for it to stop.
As we followed up on Yurton, more allegations of abuse surfaced, something that may not have happened without Mirtha's persistence. 2.5 years later, a jury convicted Yurton of 3 child abuse counts.
I was glad I did, because of where he is now.
Robert Yurton will spend 20 years in prison.
If you don't do anything, then you're just as guilty as the perpetrator.
If you suspect a child is being abused, physical or sexual, or if you witness inappropriate contact with a child, you need to report. Failing to do so could mean criminal charges against you. To report child abuse, call the DHS hotline at 1-800-522-3511. Now, remember, during the investigation, don't ask too many questions. Let the child do the talking. Pay attention to what a child is saying about someone in particular. For instance, does the child want to avoid that person? That might be the first clue that a child is being abused. More importantly, let the child know that what he or she is feeling is okay. I'm Abby Alford, Fox 23 News.
And in Tulsa, child victims are interviewed by a professionally trained investigator with the Child Abuse Network. Fraud, waste, abuse, and you're paying for it. Some companies are getting rich based on lies.
Oh, it's true. They're handing out free cell phones to people who don't qualify for a government program. And in some cases, the phones are winding up in the hands of criminals.
Fox 23's Jenna Clark has been investigating this story for the last 7 months and uncovered new proof that's making authorities take notice.
The federal government's program is called Lifeline. The point is to use your money to help people get a cell phone who can't afford one. We dig deep inside the program, and so far there's nothing stopping some of these companies from giving a free government cell phone to whomever shows up. And the companies are cashing in on fake customers.
You want to fill out an app?
Just a few simple questions.
What all do we need on the app?
And these agents are ready to hand us a government cell phone.
Can we do that? I mean, yeah.
Without any proof, we are who we say we are.
Thanks.
The signs, the tents, the trucks. All over town, companies are offering nearly free cell phones. The Federal Communications Commission pays cell phone companies to give phones to people on government assistance. The money comes from fees you pay on your home or cell phone bill.
It's showing now that it's becoming a nightmare.
Jim Jones with the Oklahoma Corporation Commission is quick to point out this is not a state program, but the OCC does give cell phone companies the status to do business in Oklahoma, and businesses keep showing up, now 27 in all, and this is why. In 2008, the FCC paid cell phone companies in Oklahoma $63 million through the Lifeline program. Since then, it's skyrocketed. This year, they're on pace to receive more than 3 times that. And more customers are signing up, more than 2.5 times what it was just 4 years ago. Right now, more than 1 out of 10 Oklahomans has a government-paid cell phone. But how many of these users really qualify? If suspicions of fraud, abuse, and waste aren't enough, we discovered something even worse.
So it's easy.
Very easy.
We're hiding his identity, but this guy just got arrested for dealing drugs. He admits he was using a government cell phone.
That's exactly why I got it, to sell drugs.
Tulsa police say whether it's for drug deals, gang activity, or murders, some criminals are using government cell phones to help them do it.
In the last 6 months to 9 months, we've seen almost an explosion in cell phones.
I just went to a tent, gave them fake social, fake name, and fake last name, and it worked. I do know people with several phones. I can get in a car right now and go to different tents. You can get one at every one. It seems like they don't even care.
Our investigation continues. Coming up next, customers come forward and say what really happened when they signed up for a free cell phone.
I could have said my name was Sally Brown, and it would have worked.
Cell phone agents rat out their competitors.
We would turn people away and they'd go to them and walk away with the phone.
We find out for ourselves how easy it is to get a free cell phone.
That's all I need. Okay.
And what they have to say for themselves when they get caught.
People who work here have given people cell phones who don't qualify for them.
Stay with us.
You're watching Fox 23 News at 9.
Before the break, we told you how some cell phone companies are getting rich by providing free government cell phones to Oklahomans who don't always qualify.
In some cases, they're crooks using the phones you pay for to break the law. Now we check out ourselves, and here's Fox 23's Jenna Clark with more.
She'd seen the signs.
Saw this van and it said free cell phones.
One day she actually stopped. She doesn't want to show her face on TV, but she got a nearly free cell phone through the FCC's Lifeline program. It cost her just $2.57 a month. She qualifies because she receives government assistance. But the company that gave her the phone, Assist Wireless, would never know that.
She didn't ask me to prove it. I didn't even have to show my driver's license and my name. I could have said my name was Sally Brown and it would have worked. They don't care.
While she waited in line, she said the agents didn't turn down anyone.
Everybody got a phone that day.
We went to check for ourselves.
I saw the sign that said free phones.
We sent a Fox 23 photojournalist to a tent set up at Admiral and Memorial.
You work here? I don't have my IDs or anything with me. I need to get a phone.
We have to have an ID, picture ID, and proof of government assistance.
This agent wouldn't budge on the rules, but pointed out who would.
You might try them down there. They might do it.
Down where? Oh, there's a place over there?
Turns out he was right.
Hi there. You need an application? I need to find out some stuff.
The agent in a true wireless tent at First and Memorial tells him about the program.
It's 1,000 minutes per $1.
And then our photojournalist tells him a story about why he doesn't have an ID.
When I got out of my ex's house without my IDs.
Do you get any type of government assistance?
Well, my kid gets free lunch.
Okay, yeah, that works. You want to fill out an app?
Before he leaves, our photojournalist wants to make sure he doesn't have to show proof of assistance to get the phone.
That's all I need.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you feel confident that you could have gotten a phone from that place?
Oh, yeah. He wanted to give me one right then. I mean, I could have put down John Doe, and that guy would have given me a phone.
Same story at Sheridan and King.
I got locked out of my house, so I don't have my ID. Can we do that? I mean, she's got all my paperwork.
Yeah, we'll work with you.
Yeah, my son gets that free lunch at school, so.
Okay, that's all you really need.
Okay, so I can get by without the paperwork.
Of the 6 businesses we checked, 4 were ready to give us a phone without an ID or proof of government assistance.
It was as easy as just walking up and asking the questions.
We went back to get some answers. Most of the time, the agents and their tents were long gone. At Admiral and Memorial, the same tents there, the same company, but different people. I tell the agent there that the Easy Wireless agents there did follow the law.
We will get in a lot of trouble if we don't.
But she's quick to point out others break the rules.
Yeah, yesterday they were actually set up right here, and we were right where we are, and we would turn people away, and they'd go to them and walk away with phones.
She says it all comes down to money.
What's the incentive? They just want more business, I guess. Yeah, because they get money for each phone. Yeah, they get a pretty nice commission. Without proper identification, how would you know people are who they say they are? You wouldn't.
When we went back to First and Memorial, we found the same agents.
Do you require people to show ID and proof that they have government assistance?
Yes.
So that's something that you do every single time, or just sometimes?
Yeah, they do it every time.
Okay. Were you all here last Monday?
¿Estaban aquí lunes que pasó? No.
But take a look at the video. Not only was she there, she's well aware of the conversation our photojournalist is having with the other agent.
I don't
We're
have
usually
to.
here till like 7 or 8.
Do you guys have a title?
No matter how many ways I asked, both of them
Were you here last Monday?
denied everything.
Who's in charge?
Greg. He's not here right now though.
We got back in the car and called Greg.
Hello, it's Greg.
Greg, hi, this is Jana Clark with Fox 23 News.
He told us he's over all the Assist Wireless and True Wireless agents in Oklahoma, which would mean these agents and these, who all offered us a phone without proof that we qualify. He said other agents might do that, but not his.
I've got secret shoppers to make sure that they are going by the book. I can assure you that they are.
We have it documented on camera, them offering the phone without proof of assistance or ID.
Okay, I would love to see that.
So we set it up so he could see our video. But once he got here, he decided he didn't want to watch it and make a comment about it.
It's pretty much out of control, and that's what we're trying to do is rein it back in.
The FCC polices the Lifeline program and made reforms this year to combat fraud. But Jim Jones with the Oklahoma Corporation Commission says it's not working.
If the FCC is not going to take any action, then we feel like the Oklahoma Corporation Commission should start an investigation. If we don't get a handle on it at this level, there's no telling where it may be in the next 5-10 years.
The FCC says it's made reforms to prevent this kind of fraud. So why is it still happening? An FCC representative told me he wants to see our story so the FCC can do its own investigation. We'll let you know what happens. Jana Clark, Fox 23 News.